Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rekakadash. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai being the name of His only begotten Son, who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Now we're going to get into this Damar Hamlin situation. And first, we're going to look at the causes of this situation, because you got the red dragon trying to pretty much cover over his tracks. And you know how a criminal, they gonna have all kind of excuses, and they're gonna be the first one to try to give you some false alibi. Now let's go into the causes. Say a failure of the heart as a pump to match the body's requirements. See, we don't see no blunt trauma to the chest. It's a severe delinquency or circulation volume, meaning you don't got enough blood. What causes a person not to have enough blood? A blood clot. Like the Jamaicans say, your blood clots. Now it's a inadequate oxygenation, electrolytes, acid-base imbalance, and the main one that I want to focus on is the toxins. Poison. Now let's go into what King David was talking about with this poison. See, I don't believe King David was using this analogy just to use it. See, this was more of a prophetic situation. Now he getting to talking about these dragons, and let's go to Ecclesiasticus first. It look like they trying to freeze up my phone. Ecclesiasticus 12:10. It say never trust your enemy. So it's talking about the enemy, and it says 13. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come near a wild beast? So you're talking about the enemy, and the enemy is a serpent. And look at verse 14 and say, so one that goes to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? So not only is this the enemy, this is the man of sin. See, all pointing back to the nation of Edom, these red dragons. Now let's see if they let me get my verse. Okay, 52. There we go. Now it says in verse 3, it says, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Okay, what is they going to lie about? What is one of the major things in history is these jokers going to lie about? Verse 4, it says their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the death adder that stoppeth her ear. So the enemy is going to be pushing poison. And when you look at the plastic, we can go get on the plastic. Let's cross the board. Now, first of all, when you go looking up the causes of cardiac arrest and heart attacks, these are some of the leading cause of death. Now, that's why let's go ahead and get that in Habakkuk. See, the leading cause of death is these heart attacks and stuff concerning the heart and the blood. Now, both of these is so much is on these Edomites. It says, let's get the context of this whole book, chapter 3, verse 3 say God came from Teman. Teman is the land, one of the sons of Esau, Edom. He was one of the first sons of Esau. Now, verse 5, talking about the Edomites, it said, yeah, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as death. See, this man is as death. So when he come with his poison, it's going to be causing a lot of death. Let's get Revelation. Revelation 6 is all about the Edomites. All these horses is talking about the fourth kingdom, the Edomite kingdom. Now, when it describes him as a pale horse, it says, and I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed him. So his name was Death. See, these Edomites' names is Death. And the grave is going to follow these dragons because they going to be pushing poison. Now, I was going to go on into that plastic. Now, how you make plastic is you use some freaking, what they call it, fossil fuel or straight chemicals. See, he renamed stuff too, see. He'll throw a name on it and you don't know what the heck going on. When he done combine a bunch of chemicals together to make plastic. And chemicals not good. It ain't no kind of good thing. See, these chemicals can cause you to die, man. They're toxins to the body. Then what you got, chemicals in the water, the fluoride. When you look at the back of a toothpaste container or whatever you want to call it, the toothpaste thing say if you swallow too much of this fluoride that's in this toothpaste, you're going to need to go to the hospital and see if you done been poisoned, have an overload of poison. Okay? And so this is the whole situation. See? And the thing clearly said that, let's go back to it, just in case some people forgot. It says toxin. So a toxin can cause cardiac arrest, and bleeding, meaning the lack of blood. A blood clot will cause a cardiac arrest because you don't got enough blood in your body. See, once that blood clot, now you're gonna have a deficient amount of blood, severe deficiency in blood, and you can have a blood clot. Now, they say also a cardiac arrest come suddenly, but it's still expected. It's expected to come. Just because it came suddenly, that don't mean nothing. Just because somebody hit you in your chest, that don't mean nothing. You still can go. They know it's been expected. It was expected to happen. It don't matter just because the person young and healthy and all this mess. It was already expected to happen because there's some toxin in this person's body, or they just don't got enough blood. They got a freaking blood clot. But see, they'll never tell the truth because that's why King David say they are a bunch of liars. See, and they push poison all day long. Let me see what King David was saying. He's talked about them in 52. See, because they're going to lie about their poison. And look at King David. This is what he was talking about doing it. See, people don't understand Psalm the context of Psalms. That's what get them. They hearing he talking about the wicked and he talking about people lying and doing stuff. They don't know the context. But 52 gives you the context of most of these Psalms that he's writing about. He ain't never talking about no spirit that fell from heaven. Some Satan. See, that ain't the enemy. He ain't never had no problem with the spirit world. See, he talking about these enemies of his. And who was the enemies? It was King Saul. And it was the freaking Edomites, the so-called white man. That's who it was. It's a son of David who Doeg, the Edomite, came and told Saul a bold-faced lie just to get Saul to want to kill David and want to kill the priests of the Lord. The 80 priests was killed by these red dragons because one of them came up with a lie and put it into Saul's head when Saul was already had a bad, evil spirit on him. Now it says in verse 3, it says, you love evil more than good and lying rather than to speak righteousness. You love all devouring words, oh, you deceitful tongue. See, these Edomites love to tell a bold-faced lie. And King David was always rumbling with the Edomites. When they invaded his city, Ziklag, they invaded the city and took his wives and children. See, they killed Saul and chopped his head off or did something to him. See, because David didn't want to kill Saul. David told Saul, you anointed of the Lord, and I'm not finna touch the Lord's anointed. See, you gonna either die in battle or of old age. I won't be the one to kill you. See, so David still, and then David was best friends with Jonathan, Saul's son. So he wasn't having hatred in his heart for Saul. He just didn't understand why Saul was against him. Now, in the midst of all of this, Saul, he had the spirit put on him to go against David. But these Edomites is lurking the whole time. Amalekite, they went and put Saul to death, and David went to ripping his clothes off, mourning over Saul and Jonathan, his best friend. That's because this was the king of Israel. And this was all being done by these red dragons, the Edomites. Now, real quick, because I already know. Let's get who are the Edomites real quick. Alexander the Great. It talks about him being the first over Greece. Okay. And who was battling? Who was Alexander the Great peoples? See, because he is after his death, they all put on crowns upon themselves. And so their sons after them in many years. So these individuals was a nation. So they was fighting against Maccabees, Judas Maccabees, these generals that was set up. And who was they called to be? Verse 3, it says, Judas fought against the children of Esau in Idumea. So the Edomites was fighting these Israelites all the way up to the Maccabees era, and they was the Greeks and the Romans, because the Greco-Roman situation combined these two names together, which we know they was all white, so-called white people, what they call themselves now, European. And these are the children of Esau. These are ones that's pushing the poison, just like they pushing all forms of wickedness. Let's get this. It said, lest Satan shall get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. See, we know he a liar, and we know these red dragons is not to be trusted, because look at what he called them in Revelation. It says, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. See, these people is the one deceiving the whole world. These red dragons, they the ones that's gonna battle against God, and they've been battling God and God's people since He chose them as a nation. They came out the womb together, and that's what people don't understand. That's why most people is on that Christianity mess, and they don't know what the heck going on. They don't know it's been a battle going on in the earth, and these two nations have been battling in the womb. And ever since they came out the womb, it's been a major war going on between these people. See, they don't even understand that. They think the world is all about skin color. See, it's all about the good peoples and the bad peoples, and the devil and the demons. See, and the angels. They don't understand the major battle that's going on is between Jacob and Esau. That's the major battle. That's why in this whole chapter, he bring up two major situations. This woman with 12 stars and this red dragon with 10 horns, 7 heads. This is what the war was all about. It was not about no freaking angels and stuff. And so these are the people that's gonna deceive the whole world and push poison on. Look at what he said in Revelation 18. I'm gonna end it here. 18 and 13, it say the last sentence of 23, 18 and 23, Salaki. It say, for thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by their sorceries were all nations deceived. See, so now you're talking about the merchants, these rich merchants, these pharmaceutical companies, and these companies that's pushing their products and their chemicals and poison. See, these are the great men, and we know there ain't no Negroes great men. See, the Negroes talking about Oprah, LeBron James, Jay-Z, Kanye West, these jokers making money off music and TV and movies that they done played in, and they got a slave master over them who gave them the freaking money. See, the great men are these billion trillionaires who got pharmaceutical companies and allow the pharmaceutical companies to operate to push their agenda of deceiving these people through their poison. See, through their medications and stuff. The what do you call it? The malpractice. The malpractice lawsuits is through the roof. See, most people in these neighborhoods call the hospital the place where you finna go in there and get done dirty. People scared to go to the hospital. The Israelite nation always had a superstition of going to these people's hospital. Why is that? See, what was the superstition of going to these people's hospital? Because the spirit of the Lord was telling them that these people are the devil, and you do not want to go and put your hand in the hand of the devil. See, trusting in a freaking serpent that's gonna feed you some poison. But see, you got some ignorant 2/3 that'll run up in there and do it, and they're gonna have to suffer the consequences, and ain't nobody gonna pity them. See, that's why in verse 24 it say, in her was found the blood of the prophets and of the saints. Who are the saints? The Israelites, and of all that were slain upon the earth. See, these are saints are the Israelites, and they being slain by these people through their poisons. See, and King David knew this. That's why he said that they are estranged from the womb. That they coming from a bloodline. They all coming from the same womb. See, the same bloodline. And these jokers is pushing poison. But I'm going to leave it there. All praise to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashim Kakadash. The honors to the elders pushing the truth. Peace of the elect worldwide. Our kingdom is at hand. Shalom.